lawmakers are launching a full investigation on the Secret Service and federal law enforcement's handling of the assassination attempt. Member of the House Oversight Committee, Republican from the state of Tennessee, Tim Burchett joins us live once again here on the Hill. Congressman, thanks for being back with us. We spoke Saturday evening. It's nice to speak with you again. Yeah. You have since said that Republicans need to get to Washington, quote, to hell with the convention. Do you think that your colleagues who are in Milwaukee need to leave there and come back, and that this should be the sole focus?
I believe that the members of the Oversight Committee should. And I expressed that to Chairman Comer. You know, we have rules about 72 hours, you know, and Speaker Pelosi never followed those rules. Matter of fact, they voted to do away with those rules the very first part of session when she took over. But yeah, I think that the FBI, by the end of this week, they're going to know everything about this guy. They know his underwear size, what he had for lunch a month ago. They're going to know everything. And right. The longer we wait, the more it feeds the conspiracy theory motives, and we just need to put that to rest. I think it was a failure, and if they delay us, then we will start asking some questions about conspiracies, because I have a lot of those. You know, a guy walks up with an AR 115 yards from the president, apparently gets out of a van, and there's a ladder on this building, and nobody has secured this building. You've been at these things. I've been at these things. I can remember when I was mayor of Knox County, President Obama came to Pellissippi State, and I think it was 20 or 21 of our dump trucks that we loaned them just so he could walk out of the limo, because there was a line of sight there, you know, a mile away. And so this doesn't fit. This does not fit the professionals that we know the Secret Service to be. Something is amiss. Go ahead. What
are you going to ask the head of the Secret Service?
I'd like to know who is in charge of that perimeter. I'd like to know, was there did they have to have permission to make that shot? Are there rules of engagement like the ones in Afghanistan that got 13 brave Americans killed? Do you have a communication between local authorities and the Secret Service or the people on the ground? Were our snipers Secret Service, or were they did they work under Mayorkas or somebody else? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and President Trump almost lost his life because of their inept. And I think they ought to go on and fire the person in charge of it, because you know these excuses and this.
Do you think they should fire the Secret Service head or the person who was in charge of that event, or are you willing to go all the way up to the top at this point?
I'd say to the top, because this is you know, you have a person in charge who said, I want 30% women on the Secret Service. Yeah, I don't care if they get a purple unicorn, but dadgummit, they better be able to protect the president. And you saw the iconic shot where he's saying, fight, fight, fight. He's over the head of a Secret Service agent. That should never happen. There should always be a body. When a situation like that, the body has to be between him and the crowd. If there'd have been another shooter, we'd be having another conversation today.
Congressman Tim Burchett from the state of Tennessee, who will be in that hearing with the head of the Secret Service in the upcoming days. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.